Curtains down on phase 4 of the Lok Sabha elections, thereby sealing the fate of more than 963 candidates in 72 seats across 9 states. The fourth phase was certainly one of the most crucial ones in Battle 2019. Not only did the financial capital of Mumbai go to vote, but so did several constituencies in the Hindi heartland of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. The stakes have been getting bigger since phase 3. The fourth phase also put to test the estranged equations between the BJP and its oldest ally, Shiv Sena. Once again, sporadic reports of violence marred the polling process in different parts of West Bengal, including Asansol. The phase 4 of the big fight is what we are discussing today on the India Development Debate.
Very smooth process. I voted in Mumbai for the first time after shifting from Delhi. Very smooth process.
We need a very stable government in the country, in the center, to provide a constant, continuous development.
Very happy to exercise my voting rights. I would request people to go out and vote.
I think we must exercise our right. This is a fundamental right which we should do. As I said, right from 1977, I have done it in every election. And I make it a point to stay back.
First of all, I hope that whichever government comes in power is a strong government. That means they are not cobbled up with lots of parties coming in. It has to be somebody where there is a strong party with maybe some help from other parties, but there has to be one strong party, and that is to form the government. The government should not be worrying about whether I'm going to last 5 years or not.
The issues are of both social and economic development. And India has done quite well in the last few years, and hopefully we'll continue to do well.
I think most important is growth. We need growth in the economy, and I think any government that comes to power must focus on that. A little bit of tax reforms, because today the tax structure is very skewed, particularly the direct tax structure.
I am very lucky that I was born post-independence in a free country, and I have now reached my 60s. In a free country, and I think that's the thing that I have to be grateful for.
Well, there you go. That's the who's who in the financial capital, the stalwarts of India Inc. getting inked. Joining me on the show today on India Development Debate, Rashid Kidwai, political commentator, with me in the studio. I'm also being joined by R. Jagannathan, the editorial director at Swarajya magazine. From the Bharatiya Janata Party, we have Hitesh Jain, Sanjay Jha, representing the Congress Party. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us right here. Sunny Sebastian will also be joining us from Jaipur. He's, of course, formerly with the Hindu. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on the India Development Debate. Let's get straight down to it. Hitesh, I'll come to you because you're representing the incumbent political party. We have seen something change from Friday. On Friday in Mumbai, the Prime Minister talked about how will you want to vote for a party and waste your vote, which may not even hit 50, that may do worse than its 2014 record and not even reach 44, it might be 40. Then you have Arun Jaitley over the weekend taking to Facebook, once again coming up with similar kind of numbers. Today, Piyush Goyal, after casting his vote, talks about how the Bharatiya Janata Party is all set to make 300 is in the bag. What's going on? What is giving you suddenly all of this confidence since Friday? And are you expecting to sweep Maharashtra the way you did in 2014? Where is this confidence coming from? And can it not come back to haunt you?
I come from Mumbai. I casted my vote today. I also had the benefit of traveling across different constituencies and had an interaction with various voters. The only question the voters had in their mind, and when I asked them as to what is the key issue on which you are voting, they say we are electing the Prime Minister of India. We are voting for a party which will give a strong and secure government. And if you will ask me what has changed from Friday to Monday, on Friday if people were talking about that whether there is a wave of Modi, on today they were talking about the tsunami, that is the wave that has been converted into tsunami. And I am very confident and I am happy to come and discuss the results on the result day with you. When the results will come out, we are winning all the 6 seats and we are going to sweep the Mumbai metropolitan region. The voting has been phenomenal. The voters have come down in numbers. In the high rises, the queues are still on. I mean, the voting booth which is across my house, there are still some people in the queue over there. So, I mean, this is the phenomenal of the middle class. The Prime Minister basically pitched to the middle class and to the urban voters that this is the government that stood by you and will stand by you. So, the appeal of the Prime Minister really cut it across the Mumbai, and people have realized that they cannot waste their vote, but they have to vote for a stable government. And this has been a pattern of Mumbai, whether it is 2004, 2009, 2014 and also in 2019. Mumbai votes for a government that is strong, stable, and that's the mandate Mumbai gives.
Okay, let me go across to Sanjay Jha. Sanjay Jha, you know, I'm sure you've also seen since Friday the kind of commentary that's coming in, not just from the Prime Minister, but senior cabinet ministers as well. And the question I want to ask you is, you know, how is the Congress responding? Over the weekend, yes, I saw a fantastic video which all of us who have siblings could relate to. So I know which sibling is in the smaller helicopter and which sibling, which Gandhi sibling is in the bigger helicopter. But where are they today? I couldn't see them today. But whereas you had the Prime Minister talking and taking the fight to Didi's bastion and saying 40 of your lawmakers in fact want to switch sides. What's going on? Have you already, you know, conceded defeat in a sense? Do you think the Bharatiya Janata Party is already sensing victory?
Nayantara, if the mainstream media had done its job, Narendra Modi would have been an ex-Prime Minister 2 years ago. I don't want to comment on it. You are part of the mainstream media. This is not the time for me to make a sarcastic opinion on that. I'm assuming that you are better versed as to how the media has actually you know, kind of basically submitted itself in an abject surrender before Modi. I don't want to even comment on that. Now, let me answer your question. 2 points. Did you notice that over the last 1 week, we have seen 2 extraordinary developments from the Bharatiya Janata Party that will tell you why they are in a panic mode. First and foremost, putting a terror-accused Sadhvi Pragya Singh Thakur as their candidate. In Mumbai, it is going to have a very serious repercussion. My friend from the BJP is allowed his cool aplomb, we will sweep 6 seats. They say it all the time. This is the standard operating procedure. The spokesperson is told, aap ye jaake program mein bol dena. No sir at all. Let me tell you, people in Mumbai are angry because they know that Hemant Karkare has been insulted. A brave martyr who died on 26/11. Jain lives in Mumbai, so do I. I'm assuming that Jain is aware of that nightmare.
You know, since you're bringing this up, and I'm going to let Hitesh also come in. Sanjay, since you brought this up, and you know, once again, while the question still remains where the Gandhis were today, I want to ask you, the Maharashtra leader of opposition, Vikhe Patil, had resigned before the elections. He was unsatisfied that his son didn't get a ticket. So while you might invoke Pragya, I want to ask you, you couldn't even set your house in order in Maharashtra. And I'm asking you this because we're talking about Maharashtra, and while the question still remains, where were the Gandhis today?
Well, can I answer your question? First and foremost, and this is very critical, that by making Pragya Thakur into their BJP candidate, the message to India is that the BJP will go to any extreme length to polarize the country, to actually propagate someone who is accused of hate, violence and brutal killing. These are allegations, but a terror accused is a terror accused. Number 2, Modi goes on a campaign and talks about caste. This is the same man who, why don't you go back to 2014, where he talked about an extremely backward caste he belongs to. In 19, he says, I don't believe in caste. You see, you're talking to a habitual liar. And the BJP playing communal and caste politics is a simple message. कि jobs में तो मैं बेकार था, rural distress में हम third grade थे, farmers को हमने उनके साथ विश्वासघात किया, economy is in shambles, I'm sure you know it better than now, you're in ET now. And the truth is, India's institutions have been destroyed. Pulwama, can you imagine in Sri Lanka, the Prime Minister apologizes for an intelligence leak. Here you have a Prime Minister who says, मुझे वोट दो. पुलवामा में हमारे 45 लोग मर गए, but he wants to win elections on the blood of our martyrs. So you're talking about a highly immoral political party, unethical political party. As far as Mumbai is concerned, what they will vote, I am looking forward to sitting with Jen to see who wins what. I'm not going to do any false bravado like him, but I can tell you here there is that undercurrent that a lot of people talk about, and that is that you dump Modi and Shah and send BJP
so
packing.
let's go to the
because
commentators
they've
now.
destroyed our country in the last 5 years. All the mehnat of the last 70 years has been destroyed.
Okay, I'm going to go to the comment. Sanjay, you know, I know that you have decided to not answer two very pointed questions. One was about the resignation of the leader of opposition, Maharashtra, Radhakrishna Vakil Patil, just before the vote. And also that where were the Gandhis today when you continue to see Narendra Modi campaign? Look what he has said in West Bengal, threatening Didi, saying 40 lawmakers are willing to defect. Let me now come to Rashid Kidwai, who is with me in the studio. Rashid, what do you make of this? Sanjay Jha didn't address those two questions. How are you reading Maharashtra, and what is the signal that you're getting from the Gandhi camp at the moment at a time when you are seeing the BJP throw all of these numbers at the public? Is this because they are confident, or is this perhaps because, you know, you have maybe everything to lose? If somebody has everything to lose, it's the BJP. So, and that's one of the points that Sanjay Jha did try to make.
Yes, I think Nayantara, first and foremost, it is, you know, those elections where the 71 seats that went to poll, most of them are held by BJP as many, and of course NDA allies, as many as 56. So stakes are very high for BJP and NDA to retain as many seats as. The Congress story is very simple. They just want that if there is a, you know, a loss of 20 or 30 seats for BJP and NDA, then it will be their gain. Remember, this is not an election between Congress and BJP. It's a kind of triangular contest where BJP is holding on to a, you know, pole position, and there is Congress party, and the other side there are many regional parties like Mamata Banerjee and Biju Janata Dal and others. So the Congress is actually not unduly, you see, there is a whole style of campaigning is very different of Gandhi's as well, and Narendra Modi. Mr. Modi is an incumbent prime minister. He wants to have another 5 years in office. He is doing everything, including to demoralize the opposition. You don't, Nayantara, in my experience as political journalist, you don't say that, you know, the 40 of your MLAs are going to defect. I mean, surprise is the biggest weapon in such kind of thing. If there is any kind of toppling games happens, this is just to create a kind of, you know, an environment where the combined opposition feels very demoralized. It's also open secret that combined opposition is far from united. This is a stark reality of this election.
If I could take that very question to R. Jagannathan now. So, you know, how are you reading this? Should we not be reading too much into what Narendra Modi had to say? He's still the Prime Minister, he's not an ordinary politician. So when you say something, it comes with a lot of credibility. Rashid's take is that he's lost the element of surprise. Why make it? What's the point of this threat at all?
Sorry, can you repeat that again, please? Huh?
I wanted to ask you that, you know, take on what Rashid Kidwai has said, that what the Prime Minister has done today, he's lost the element of surprise, that he's in touch with the Trinamool Congress, and lawmakers are looking to defect after May 23rd. How seriously should one be looking into it? And, you know, something that I asked Sanjay Jha, I asked Rashid Kidwai, I'm also going to ask you, the impact of the leader of the opposition in Maharashtra quitting, Radhakrishna Vakil Patil, just before the elections, and also, where are the Gandhis? We didn't see them today at all on phase 4.
Right. There are three things that I'd like to make at this point. One is the BJP is obviously a little ahead, but it wants to make sure that psychologically it stays ahead, and it's trying to motivate its cadre to say, look, we are winning, but you better get the thing done. It's also trying to create the impression that, look, I am the incumbent, and remember, there's a phase of voting, several phases of voting still left in places like West Bengal and other things. So it is hoping to say that, look, there are many people who are going to switch over, which means he's trying to build pressure on the TMC and the BJP in West Bengal, so that people who are afraid of shifting over to the BJP, especially votes from the left and the Congress and all that, will consider this as a viable alternative. So that was the message of saying that 40 people are in touch with me and all that. So, and as for the other BJP people who have been saying that, okay, we're going to sweep and this thing like that, I'm sure they are a little ahead, but they want to exude overconfidence so that people seem to think that this is a winning horse, there's no point going to others that are going to lose. As far as the Congress is concerned, I seriously believe that they are not looking to do much more than make tactical small gains in this election. Their eyes, the very fact that Priyanka Gandhi has chickened out of Varanasi and is not doing much of campaigning and nothing aggressive, shows that they want to keep their firepower for later. So what they are actually doing is they are trying to hope that they will try and see what they can do in the 3 states where they won the assembly elections, try and see and protect and increase their tally as much. They are not looking for big gains anywhere else, and there is a chance that they might lose whatever they have in many other things. So people are, I think it's a mind game that the BJP is trying to play at this point, and the Congress seems to be slipping there.
Okay,
in fact, more anti-BJP campaigning is being done by Raj Thackeray in Maharashtra compared to the Congress.
Okay. Okay, mind games is what the BJP is playing at the moment. Sunny Sebastian, if I could come to you, you're joining us from the studio in Jaipur. Talk to us about Rajasthan. The stakes are so much higher now for the Bharatiya Janata Party. From today, you're seeing the battle at its stronghold, the Hindi heartland, as we're calling it. What do you make of what's unfolding in Rajasthan, where we in New Delhi are being told that issues like, for example, nationalism are what is really the biggest poll plank that is being discussed and being discussed on ground by the people that are going to vote?
In Rajasthan, where a lot of ex-servicemen and servicemen are there, and also a long border with Pakistan, like 1019 kilometers of border, nationalism is an important factor. But then there are other factors also, like unemployment, and also a big divide between the poor and the rich, and also a serious caste division between the Savarna and scheduled caste, scheduled tribes. So people are debating all these things apart from, of course, nationalism, Pulwama and Balakot strike. So it's a kind of mixed thing, and it is unlike in 2014. I don't think it is going to be a one-sided affair this time. Also, unlike in 2018, when the Congress had won majority seats, it's not exactly looking like that as well. So it is somewhere in between kind of thing. And also this round of 13 seats may not be all that good for Congress, but I think next round would be better for Congress than this round.
Okay, so the next phase 5, May 6, may turn out to be a better gamble for the Congress. Hitesh Jain, if I could come to you, you got a drubbing. You lost Rajasthan in 2018 in the assembly election. Why do you think you'll be able to protect this Hindi heartland, a stronghold of the BJP in 2019, in battle 2019? What has changed the last couple of months?
Very simple answer. In the last 3 months, the rural Rajasthan is feeling cheated by Congress. Congress's campaign during the assembly election was that within 10 days, we will give you a loan waiver. And if we do not give you a loan waiver in 10 days, we will change the chief minister in 11 days. On the 11th day, it's been now more than 5 months. There has been no loan waiver. So there is a difference between, as I come to during this whole campaign, I draw a distinction between tape record and track record, and people understand that Congress makes a false promises, and that is the track record. There is a seethingly anger. Second, people just give a very conventional reasoning over here about caste, arithmetic, but in this election there is something called chemistry, nationalism, which is now overridden all this caste and the conventional argument. There is this ecosystem. I heard Rashid Kidwai or someone speaker before me, they are still living in the old bubble, and after 23rd May, they will have to educate themselves, and they will have to come with new research and theses where they will have to accept that this caste and arithmetic and all this conventional reasoning which they are giving, oh, the Gandhis are holy horse, they don't need to come and all, they will have to now go back to the drawing book. come with the new strategies, and they will have to explain to the people as to what is the ground reality.
Let Rashid
Now,
come in. Hitesh, Rashid wants to counter you. Rashid wants to counter you. I'm going to hang in there. Hang in there.
Mr.
Rashid
Jain,
wants to come in.
if caste is not an issue, why is Prime Minister repeatedly asserting that he comes from backward classes, he's a backward? All the time he's saying it. Every BJP candidate who's been fielded in the process of election, a caste, a subcaste, their influence is mentioned during scrutiny, during selection of candidate. It happens in Congress also. It happens in entire political class. BJP is no different. So to say that caste is not important is something we are being very elitist and
hypocritical, Hitesh. When it suits you, you're cherry picking. How are you not being hypocritical?
See, caste is not in the forefront of our argument. Every time they want to say Prime Minister is niche, Prime Minister belongs to this caste, so we have to reply to them and we have to remind them. These are the people, like in the UP also, they look, like the Muslims, Dalits, this is how they will come, this is how the arithmetic. We are not speaking this language. We speak the language of 130 crore Indians. And I want to complete the point which I am making. For the 5 years, the Congress campaign in Bombay was Raj Thackeray is a Lukha Seth who beats North Indian and Bihari people in Bombay. This is Sanjay Nirupam on record, and I have his videos, which he says that this Lukha Seth who snatches the livelihood of the UP and Bihar. Now imagine, these are the people, the Congress has to go and beg him that you campaign for me. So when they do not have leaders, they have outsourced the campaign. This is the stage at which Congress has reduced to.
Rashid, I know you want to come in. In 2014, we weren't talking about caste. It was actually about Vikas. We've all been discussing this, how 2019 is so different from 2014 on just the muddas, the poll planks that are really being discussed. While Priyanka Gandhi says she's not aware of what Narendra Modi's caste is, Arun Jaitley says, how is any of that relevant? Do you think all the political parties here are being hypocritical? All the candidates are chosen on caste. Of course, they talk about caste, and of course, they include caste equations.
Absolutely. As Mr. Hitesh Jain has pointed out, you see the kind Congress's tacit understanding, if there is one with Raj Thackeray, is something that needs to be pointed and told to voters. But the same thing applies to the BJP alliance with PDP in Jammu and Kashmir. Is BJP prepared to give an explanation to it? All these are stark realities of our political system. As far as the Congress campaign is concerned, Congress campaign has been very tardy. They have not given television interviews, both Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi. Today, perhaps Priyanka Gandhi is there in Manikpur campaigning there, close to Amethi also. But the campaigns and all are not there on television because the Congress party is not engaging. There are no interviews have been granted, television interviews. In this time and age, I think this raises a big question mark over Congress strategy.
Jagannathan, let me come to you. That's a charge that has been leveled by Rashid Kidwai, that what is the Congress doing? They're just not communicating with the people, the top leadership. Whatever the Congress has to say about the PM's interviews, whether the questions were discussed before, not discussed, he's still giving interviews, but you can't say the same for Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi or Rahul Gandhi.
Yes, absolutely. As I said earlier, I think the Congress is not really expecting to make major gains this time, except where they've already expected some gains, like in the 3 Hindi states where they won in December. So I think they are actually not going all out this time. They are, of course, though Rahul Gandhi is making campaign speeches, another thing, I don't see much of a passion in their in their campaigns. Whereas the PM is going all out, he is giving, doing all the PR possible, he is getting people to talk about him every day, he has made himself the issue. And when he has made himself the issue, I think that's where he has the advantage, and the Congress doesn't know what to do with this, because repeatedly when the PM is the issue, beyond a point the Congress doesn't seem to have an answer. When he says, look, you've got a Maha Milavat and you have not a Mahagathbandhan, they don't know what to do. So I have a feeling the PM, by making himself the candidate and by repeatedly giving interviews and being in the news every other day, has actually captured the mind space of the voter. Whether that will be enough to get him across the halfway mark or not, that remains to be seen. But I think in the PR game, in the messaging game, he is certainly well ahead of the rest. And I think in 2014 it was
has
social
been
media
said that
and his
if somebody
campaign.
understands PR and marketing, it is Narendra Modi. You know, Jagannathan, we've discussed this time immemorial, and you know, your publication, of course, has interviewed Narendra Modi in the past, so I would like to disclose that too. Sunny Sebastian, you know, is R. Jagannathan right in saying that just because the Prime Minister has been interacting with mainstream media, he's on top of the mind? Does that actually translate into votes, especially in the Hindi heartland?
See, there has been a long-standing complaint that he hasn't done any press conference as such. And of late, he is giving interviews. I don't know how to look at it. And Mr. Modi is giving interviews, and the Congress leaders are not giving interviews. If Modi is doing something, I don't think Congress leaders also need to do exactly like that. So Rahul Gandhi was in Rajasthan today in Kotputli. So they are mixing with people, of course, in marketing and even I would say management. Nobody can beat Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah. So they have their own style. No? I think they have their own ways of doing things. Of course, they are doing it better. One can say that going by the results. The latest thing, of course, we have to wait till the results come. I don't think just giving interviews to selected people would be of that is, of course, one can reach out to people.
So, you know, Sunny, before we go into a break, I want to ask you a different question about Rajasthan. We have to take a break, but before I go into that, I want to ask you an important question. I do hope we have Sanjay Jha back with us so he can counter it. You know, after 2018, we've all read about how the Gujjar community is not happy about Sachin Pilot not being elevated to the post of Chief Minister. I think it's an open secret that the current Chief Minister, Ashok Gehlot, and Sachin Pilot do not get along. There is infighting. How is this not damaging the Congress, and how is it not damaging the Congress in Rajasthan, or is it? And having said that, has the BJP been able to take advantage of it?
Yeah, I couldn't see I couldn't hear the the last sentences. But about Gujar and Gujar agitation, the biggest leader of Gujars, Colonel Baisla, has joined BJP. Of course, he was in BJP earlier. Then he left BJP. Then he returned to BJP. That is one thing. Also, between Mr. Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot, they are appearing together on stage. They are happy, looking happy and all that. There may be differences continuing. I went to the villages. I was in Dosa yesterday. I was in Alwar also yesterday. So of course people say that Gujars are not happy. Gujars may not vote in large numbers to teach Ashok Gehlot a lesson. But I don't know whether Sachin would be able to manage it. I don't think Baisla is the only Gujar leader. Even when he was leading the agitation, younger leaders used to challenge his leadership. Of course, Sachin Pilot never says that he is a Gujar leader. Of course, Gujars think that he is a big leader and he should have been the chief minister. The only thing is that whether they would adjust to that situation. There were talks about Gujars not voting wholeheartedly for the Congress in their pockets. This is the situation.
Okay. Rashid Kidwai wants to come in and talk about this, but I have to take a short commercial break. But stay tuned. You're watching the special edition of the India Development Date on the day of the Phase 4. We've just started talking about Phase 4, about Rajasthan, whether the in-house fighting between Ashok Gehlot and Sachin Pilot is hurting the Congress, and the BJP has been able to take advantage of that. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back. You're watching the India Development Debate with me, Nayantara Rai. These are the guests that you see on our screen that we have with us on the Phase 4 voting day. We had unfortunately lost the connection with Sanjay Jha, perils of live television and bad mobile network. What can we do about it? But Sanjay is now back with us. Sanjay, you know, when you got disconnected that time, we were talking about the lack of press conferences by the lack of press engagement by the Gandhi family. We moved beyond that, and we were now talking about Rajasthan in particular, where the Gujjar community had felt alienated when Sachin Pilot was not made chief minister, and then there was infighting between Sachin Pilot and Ashok Gehlot, which is talked about so much. How is this not hurting the Congress?
Nayantara, your question, you seem to be living in the past. In politics, we live in the moment. But by the way, let me answer the question. Why should we ignore it just because we lost my connection? Let the people of your channel know the truth. That the world's largest democracy, Narendra Modi, hasn't had the himmat to hold one press conference. He does fixed interviews with channels with a Bollywood actor to tell them कि मैं आम कैसे खाता हूँ. I mean, it's the ultimate mockery of a democracy. Why is Narendra Modi so scared of taking questions from the media? I thought you will ask this question of the BJP spokesperson. कि मोदी जी इतने डरते क्यों हैं? As far as Mr. Rahul Gandhi is concerned, he's held over 100 press conferences. He's had press interactions. He's talked, he's held 25 on Rafale. And Chaukidar Chor has become a popular slogan of this entire election. What are we talking about? I mean, for God's sake, look at social media. Narendra Modi and the BJP are getting the heat on social media. So for all the hype and hoopla, everybody knows Narendra Modi is controlling mainstream media.
Fortunately or unfortunately, elections are not won by armchair journalists. It's not won in TV studios, and it's certainly not won on social media. We are just not there as yet. Look at the penetration of data and broadband that we have in the country. Hitesh, if I could come to you about Rajasthan. Look what happened in 2018. And let's talk about the whole Hindi heartland. This is a conversation Rashid Kidwai and me were also having. If you look at the tally, it may not be possible for you to repeat that in 2014 in the Hindi heartland. Where are you going to be able to offset that from? Is it perhaps going to come from Karnataka, Orissa and the Northeast? And is it going to be enough for that?
See, this is the problem with Rashid or people on the social media or those compulsive contrarians whom we are seeing. They want to build that narrative. But one must go on the ground and see the groundswell in favor of the Prime Minister. And I'm very confident, whether it is Gujarat, whether it is Rajasthan, whether it is Madhya Pradesh or Uttar Pradesh, you are going to see the tsunami. And when you are talking about tsunami, that means you are sweeping everywhere. I mean, let there be no doubt about the fact. Because I'll tell you, at the halfway mark, after 4 phases are over, there are 2 clear pictures. The only discussion about BJP is that whether it is 272 or 300. And when it comes to Congress, the 2 questions that people are asking and discussing, whether Congress will retain its tally of 44 or it will talk about 55. And their own star chief minister from Madhya Pradesh gives them that we are fighting for 122. Their own conversation, they say we are fighting.
As the Prime Minister saying, will you hit triple digits? Sanjay, will you hit triple digits? Will you prove Hitesh wrong? Is there a Modi wave? Or are they right in saying, 44 might become 40 or 50?
Nayantara, let me answer. They say if your political opponent is committing suicide, you don't have to kill them. If the BJP and Modi believes they're winning 200 seats and they want to actually live in that foolish paradise, let them do that. It's a fundamental right. I have no problem with Jain coming and telling here that the Congress will get 2 seats. I have no problem, bhaiya. Bolte jao. भारत की जनता का अपमान मत करो. भारत की जनता का भी वोट आने वाला है. कोई टीवी एंकर का वोट से नहीं चलता है चुनाव. And let me tell you something, Nayantara, the truth. Narendra Modi does not talk about jobs. Narendra Modi does not know agrarian distress. Narendra Modi will never talk about inflation. Narendra Modi will never talk about the economy. Narendra Modi will never talk about how he destroyed the governance institutions of India. Narendra Modi will never talk about Lokpal. Narendra Modi will never talk about Rafale. But the Janta is talking about it, bhai sahab. और आप जिस तरह से हारेंगे, you will realize on May 23rd, I am making only one prediction. There is going to be a new non-NDA, non-BJP Prime Minister, and Narendra Modi and Shah know it, which is why Pragya Thakur and the caste equations have come into play.
They are not even claiming that Congress will become a Prime Minister.
It is like throwing water on a duck's back. तुम हार रहे हो जैन, तुम्हारे चेहरे में दिख रहा है मुझे. तुम उतना ही डरपोक लग रहे हो जैसे मोदी जी लगते हैं.
Congress is not even in the race to become a Prime Minister.
Whose prediction are you going with? Whose prediction are you going with over here? Sanjay Jha on national television saying it's going to be a non-NDA government at the center. How realistic is that looking? Or are you going with Hitesh Jain, who's saying there is a Modi tsunami? Or do you believe the truth is maybe somewhere in between?
Yeah, it has to be somewhere in between. I think it's difficult for the BJP to repeat the kind of successes it has had in UP, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, where it had maxed out last time. So it will obviously lose some seats there. There is no question about that. Unless the Mahagathbandhan fails spectacularly, which seems mostly unlikely. So I think there is certainly going to be a lot of attrition in terms for the BJP. The question is whether they are still ahead and whether they can get enough new allies to reach the 272 mark, which I think is what the BJP is making sure that it somehow gets there. So I think that's where it is. I think the Congress will certainly do better than last time, but I think they are not getting anywhere near the point where they are going to threaten the BJP's ability to come back. The third front will make some gains somewhere, but even I mean the only possibility is the BJP and allies fall short of 272. You can have a UF kind of situation where the Congress with less than 100 seats will have to support a party from outside. So you're going to have Gaudas and that kind of thing happening, which is why in the remaining phases, if that's what people fear, then the BJP might actually do better than expected. So it's really little ahead, but probably not as ahead as
is that why you think Rashid Kidwai, when the Prime Minister... In fact, if I could remind our viewers that the Prime Minister on Friday in Mumbai at the rally said the Congress perhaps is not even going to form the leader of the opposition. Rashid Kidwai, is that the sentiment that the Prime Minister was betting on, to say that, do you really want the third front leaders to form the government, to try and send that big message out, of course get Mumbaikars to vote, but send a larger message out to the nation that vote for the BJP in the larger interest, that the third front is not there, there is no fractured mandate?
Yeah, and Nayantara, if you look at Mumbai, it tells you a story. In 2004, 2009, Mumbai largely went with the Congress and NCP alliance. And in 2014, it's just the BJP and Sena swept at all seats from Mumbai. Now, this time, in my modest assessment, it's going to be a mixed bag. So the verdict will also, as Mr. Jagannathan was rightly pointing out, it is going to be a mixed bag. It will have something for everyone. Now, the question is how many seats BJP gets on its own, or that NDA alliance. If they are close to 240, 250, I don't see them having any difficulty in forming government. But the trouble will start if they have, just about 200 or 225. Then this whole thing about their own Gathbandhan, that alliance, will become very unwieldy, because as you know, there are already about more than 20-25 big and small parties are already part of NDA. So this is a real problem. No matter what my friend Mr. Jain can go on saying about prospects in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh. Fact of the matter is, recently elections have been held. If we go by that basis, in Madhya Pradesh, the Congress has an edge in as many as 12 seats. In Rajasthan, 13 seats. In Chhattisgarh, 10 seats. So we put together, there is going to be a shortfall of about 30 seats for BJP. Now, where they're going to cover these 30 seats from, I have no idea. I am not talking about Uttar Pradesh. That we'll leave it for some other day.
Yeah, Uttar Pradesh deserves a separate topic of conversation. After all, roads to New Delhi do come from Lucknow. Sunny Sebastian, come in there. You just heard Rashid Kidwai talking about this deficit of 30 seats for the NDA camp. I was asking Hitesh Jain the same question. Can this 30 actually be made up in other states, whether it's Odisha, where the BJP is looking to make inroads into, West Bengal, or even Karnataka and Kerala for that matter?
Yeah, see, in South, I don't think BJP would make any breakthrough, and even in Trivandrum, I don't think they are going to win that seat against Tharoor. But the seats would come or should come from maybe Assam, Orissa, I don't know, maybe West Bengal, that kind of thing. So otherwise, if they make heavy losses in UP, and of course, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, as Mr. Kidwai said, they are bound to lose heavily in Chhattisgarh, moderately in Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, 50-50 kind of thing in both the states. So making up the losses, I don't know where the seats would come from.
Okay, so that 30 number is looking quite difficult to counter, Hitesh. You're talking about a tsunami wave. We don't even know what the Hindi heartland offset, which you have maxed out. That was a phrase R. Jagannathan used, can possibly be made up from. And, if 2014 you saw a wave, how are you going to replicate in 2019? Certainly not looking possible.
Well, I will explain to you, and Rashid has been very lazy and he wants to support the Congress, let him be. And he's going to get the egg on his face when the results will come on 23rd. I'll give you the two factors in Bombay what has happened. The first, the Congress president, the former Congress
you can go on and accusing.
Nirupam, he shifted from his Mumbai North, he shifted his constituency. Second, they outsourced the campaign to Raj Thackeray. Third, the leader of the opposition from Congress, he left the Congress. When it comes to Rajasthan also, the fact that the Congress cheated on the ground, and the word on the ground was the false promises that was made. So even Rashid may live in his false hopes that, oh, this is how the 30. The problem with this commentator is they don't understand India. These are the same people in 2014. They said, oh, how will Modi get 220? His maximum BJP got 182. In 2014, they will get 210. And when the numbers came of 282, they say, oh, we are surprised. In UP, the same Rashid Kidwai was giving BJP 150 seats. And when the numbers came to 317, he had no explanation. So let him be in such false. I mean, being a journalist, sometimes the problem is
your imagination is running wild.
Hitesh,
I mean,
Hitesh,
you are a
Rashid
politician, stick to politics. Why are you accusing and putting wrong?
Prediction. He's saying he never made that prediction, Hitesh, so that's an unfair charge.
And for that matter, your first time you are with me on debate. I'm surprised that you are leveling this kind of allegation.
Sanjay Jha, you wanted to come in there. What is it that you wanted to say?
Nayantara, firstly, it is typical BJP strategy to make unprincipled, unethical, immoral allegations at people. I don't think you should even waste our time on that. What is the real truth? The election campaign is over for Mumbai. Jen, don't start campaigning here. It's a waste of time. 23 तारीख को दूध का दूध पानी का पानी अलग हो जाएगा, चिंता मत करो. But Nayantara, the larger point I wish to make, the people of India have resolved to defeat Modi and Shah. We also get a lot of inputs from across the country. I think the gentleman who spoke before is absolutely right. The BJP is going to be obliterated from the south, despite all the hype being created about Karnataka, that they will get a handful of seats. They are not. Let me tell you that they are going to get a thrashing in the Hindi heartland states that we have won. Why are we forgetting that in the last state assembly elections that were held in 5 states, the BJP did not even win one. Karnataka, we formed the government. Gujarat, we ran them close. These are your last 7 big elections. The BJP has been nowhere in all the 7 elections. They were lucky to win Gujarat, and a lot of people believe it happened because of EVM hacking. So the truth of the matter is very simple. The BJP has been on a downslide for a long time. Can you imagine how shameless the party has become, that the Prime Minister is still openly violating the election commission,
the language of EVM.
And asking for votes on Pulwama and Balakot. The Prime Minister should be banned from campaigning. It's because the election commission has been soft that Narendra Modi and Shah are getting away. Why should there be one rule for Navjot Singh Sidhu?
We've discussed all this in separate debates. Okay, we've discussed all this before. R. Jagannathan, if I could come to you. Once again, unfortunate, sporadic reports of violence coming in. This time, the one that's grabbing the headlines is Asansol and what has happened to Babul Supriyo. But my larger question is also on West Bengal. There are 2 sides to it. One side is saying that, of course, Didi has it all under control. It's going to be a sweep by the Trinamool Congress. Another camp believes that, the CPM workers have been mobilized to work with the Bharatiya Janata Party. I never thought such a day would come. But if indeed that is true, do you think the Bharatiya Janata Party is set to increase its tally from the current 2, the 2 that it got in 2014?
Absolutely. I think West Bengal is one state where I think the BJP will make really important gains. How many I cannot speculate. I think the internal numbers are anywhere between 5 to 10 seats that they will gain in West Bengal. That seems very clear from the way the violence quotient has been pushed up right from the Panchayat elections to the final Lok Sabha elections. It's obvious that the Trinamool is facing serious anti-incumbency problems, and there is blowback against the violence unleashed by the goons that were taken over from the CPM and went to TMC. Now, so there is a sense that the BJP is now the alternative, because the CPM is collapsing and the Congress is also losing steam in some of the key middle districts of the thing like Malda, Murshidabad, which were earlier very strong minority dominated constituencies and the Congress used to win. But I think there's a big problem there, and I think the very fact that there is high turnover and a lot of voting today suggests that there is a mood for change in that that state, and we will probably see it.
And then Sanjay Jha, isn't this a lost case by the Congress to try and capitalize on it? Instead of, forming the kind of alliances, the fielding the kind of candidates that should have happened, you didn't do it. Why did you decide to not have a better alliance, let's say with Didi, make that Mahagathbandhan into a real reality?
No, Nayantara, that is a very popular misconception. We have got very strong alliances in Tamil Nadu where we are going to sweep the state. I think everybody knows that. Same in Karnataka, in Maharashtra where you see some good results. Again in Jharkhand, in Bihar, and in many states it's BJP versus the Congress head to head where an alliance is not necessary. And please don't forget that many of them are going to be post-poll alliance partners more likely with the UPA than with the NDA. So, I think there is a larger consolidation of all what I call as not just secular but liberal, tolerant and inclusive forces who realize that Narendra Modi and Amit Shah are destroying Indian democracy. I mean, they are fracturing our society. Forget the fact that they got an F grade for managing the economy. I mean, they're a disaster.
Rashid,
I remember,
Nayantara,
I don't know whether you know this.
In West Bengal at least. No, we're running out of time, so I'm going to give Rashid Kidwai the final comment. Lost opportunity there by the Congress when it comes to West Bengal. It is one of the places where it's looking to offset that magic 30 number you talked about.
Absolutely. I mean, the Congress, remember, Congress used to be a major force in Bengal, and today it is just, giving entire that opposition space. As Mr. Jagannathan has rightly pointed out, we do not really know how many seats will BJP get, but opposition space, certainly the BJP is getting that kind of momentum. It's just that in my own assessment, they may get even anything between 5 to 10 seats, and but from time to come, the BJP will be major force in Bengal against TMC. Both the Congress and the left, they are just mere bystanders now.
With that, I'm being told by my producers that we're completely out of time, so I'm going to have to wrap up this rather heated debate that we've had today on this edition of the India Development Debate. Is there a tsunami of the Modi wave, like Hitesh Jain is saying? Is there going to be a non-NDA government at the center? All I can say is keep staying with ET Now all the way till May 23rd. Many thanks for watching.